Any time here. I gave us about the worst pick you can get in Dynasty startups this year. We are going to be boxed out of having access to an elite quarterback. I don't know how we are going to make this work, but I've had a lot of feedback. People saying, Mason, we've seen you draft from the 104. We've seen the 105. We've seen the 106. Why do you always pick there? The reason I pick there is because it's easy. You can get an elite level quarterback there. I can get Lawrence. Points, you could get Hurts. You could get Herbert. We're not getting that here at the 110. I don't know what we are going to have, but we're going to make it work. But of course, as we watch the first 4 guys go off the board here, there's not much I can say other than we just were in Arizona. We just got to see Patrick Mahomes play Jalen Hurts in what was one of the best games we've had in quite some time. So ton of fun. I was out there with Underdog, repping the Underdog shirt, of course. If you want to sign up for Underdog, get in drafts with us, link in the live chat, link in the description, link in the comment section, promo code FLOCK, 100% deposit match up to $100. Make sure you're taking advantage. But Lamar Jackson off the board here. So at this point, I don't know what we're going to do. I kind of want to go off board. I want to stay on brand and be, there's no way we do it. Do we do it? We're doing it. Hook 'em horns. We're taking Bijan Robinson here, ladies and gentlemen. Underdog just launched a $1 million best ball contest for 2023. And keep in mind, it's not Dynasty, it's redraft, it's best ball. And Bijan Robinson's going at the 1-2 turn. Bijan Robinson's already going late round 1, early round 2 in redraft leagues. In Dynasty, I'll be fine taking him here at the end of round 1. I can't act like it's the best thing ever, but it is what it is. And this team at 12 takes CMC Kelsey. I'm assuming they don't understand that it's Dynasty, that you're playing for the long term. Looks like this is going to be a rogue drafter here at 12 for us, but ooh. Justin Fields goes at the beginning of the second. We probably should have taken Justin Fields at the back half of the first round. But now that we are back up, what are we wanting to do? Do we just go ahead and take another running back? We're going to mix it up. We're going to go to Deshaun Watson. Okay. I don't know if this is what we should do. If we are in a Dynasty league together and you sent me an offer and said, Mason, I will give you Breece Hall for Deshaun Watson, there's a chance I may rather have Breece Hall. But knowing the way this draft is going to go, knowing how we are going to get boxed out of the quarterback position, I would be nervous, to say the least, to not take a quarterback at the turn here. This is why, instead of making things easy for us and drafting in the middle of the first round, we decided to get a pick here at the end of the first to have some difficulty to see if we can overcome the bad draft spot and actually come away with a good team. So we'll see if we can do it. I don't know if I love the start, but it is what it is. Hopefully Deshaun Watson can go back to what he was in 2017, 2018, 2019. But hell, he didn't look like it this past year. But Jonas says, I'm in the middle of a slow draft right now. I traded into a position where I got 2 first-round picks, netted me Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields, and I'm stoked. But now I don't pick until the 4th. First off, congrats on getting Jalen Hurts, my friend. I am very happy for you. Second off, if you have 2 first-round picks, how are you getting Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields? That doesn't make too much sense to me, but I'm just messing with you, my friend. Congrats. Luke says, what's good, Mason? Hope you're having a great day. Having a good day, my friend. I hope you are as well. I mean, a ton of fun. Shane says that I'd grab Kelsey too early. I would say in redraft, hell to the no, my friend. But in Dynasty, so hard to ever take a player that's 34 years old there. I mean, we've seen in other drafts, Travis Kelsey going, in my mind, which should be like a 4th, 5th round pick in this format. Yeah, so I definitely think you took Travis Kelsey way too early, my friend. And Justin says, should we trade my Jalen Waddle for Breece Hall? Also, we have Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Higgins, Waddle, and DeAndre Hopkins. You know, I love Breece Hall. I love Jalen Waddle. I probably would trade Waddle for Breece Hall, especially if you're telling me that you have all those other wide receivers. I mean, right now, if we're going to be looking at this startup draft, you actually have Breece Hall going 1 spot before Waddle. So I do think it's kind of dependent on your format, kind of dependent on the actual roster that you have as well, but it's an interesting spot. Now, Jerry says, might get DeAndre Swift for Darnell Mooney in the 1106 startup pick. Worth the shot on DeAndre Swift. Hell yes, worth the shot on DeAndre Swift, my friend. Oh my gosh, yes. Phenomenal, phenomenal. But Smitty going at the 303, Higgins 304. I feel like, God, picking at the top end of startup drafts this year is literally a cheat code. Going Joe Burrow, Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins. Like, having this start out the gate here, Burrow, Waddle, Higgins, is unfair. Like, it doesn't really matter what you do if you're in the second half of startup drafts. Like, if you're here at 10, 11, 12, I feel like you just cannot compete with those teams at, let's just say, the 101 through about 106. After those first 6 quarterbacks, you get such a big fall off. Now, ETN goes in the middle of the 3rd. Stroud goes 308. I think I know what we're going to do. Andrews, okay. I think we're going to go a little down the list. We're going to grab Olave here at the end of the 3rd. I really like the Olave value. It's just from a roster construction standpoint, it's a little bit difficult. Putting ourselves in a position where, like I said, I don't know if Bijan, Watson, Olave has any shot to compete with like the Burrow team, the Jalen Hurts team. What kind of strategy can we use back here to be able to have some kind of competitive edge with those teams at the beginning? Okay, I think I know the next guy that we're going to go with. Let's see if he falls to us. Metcalf goes. So Metcalf would have been in play. Now that he's off the board, I think we go with the player that we love, the talents. We hate the situation. Let's go ahead. Let's take Drake London. I mean, London at the beginning of the 4th kind of fits the mold of, okay, well, we're drafting a young team. We have Olave, London going into year 2, Bijan Robinson going into year 1. Deshaun Watson, I believe, is only about 1.5 years older than Joe Burrow. Like, if you're going to pull this up, Watson's only 27. Burrow's 26. So Watson's deceivingly young. To be fair, if we were to not go London, I feel like JSN's the pick that we maybe should have made. And I almost want to say, well, if we knew the situation JSN was going into, we would take Jackson Smith and Jigba, but I can't say that because London, we know the situation and it's horrible. So maybe JSN's the correct pick. Adams, you could make an argument from a value standpoint, but when we start Bijan Robinson, Watson, Olave, I don't want to be all of a sudden just having to go old with someone drafted in 2014. But can y'all please let me know, now that I really look at this and say this out loud, I think London was probably the bad pick. Who do you go with at the 403? Here I think are probably the ways we could have gone. Lance, Gibbs, JSN, Kyle Pitts. Can y'all please spam the chat? We have over 100 people here. Can y'all spam the chat? London, JSN, Gibbs, Lance. Mystery says Lance. You know I'm not going to argue with you, my friend. You know I'm not going to argue against some Trey Lance love. Dylan says Pitts or London. Steve says thinking of London, to be honest. Luke says JSN as an Ohio State fan. Scova says Pitts, if any, tight end premium. JSN, Lance, Pitts. Yeah. It's an interesting spot. I don't love what we did there. Will Levis goes at the end of the 4th round. Don't hate the Levis pick at all. I'll say real quick, if you're getting into the $1 million best ball contest on Underdog, Will Levis is significantly undervalued. I highly, highly recommend you go and check out some Will Levis in those drafts. Same thing, Anthony Richardson going at the very end. Okay. So Eckler 503, Quentin Johnston 502. Not the biggest Johnston guy in the world. I feel like I would probably easily rather have Addison, easily rather have Christian Watson. But I mean, obviously, if you're a big Johnston guy, that's who you like in this class. If you pass on him at the 4-5 turn, you're not going to have a shot to get him at the 6-7 turn. So I guess the 502, if you really wanted him, is the last spot you can take him. Looks like, yeah, a lot of people in the chat wanted us to go Pitts. I don't know. I completely understand why you would want us to go Pitts, and honestly, could easily be the right call. Okay, so let's scroll down, figure out where are we going after this. Jameson Williams goes. Okay, there are a few players way down in ADP that I like. What's interesting is DeAndre Swift is going extremely late in those underdog drafts. DeAndre Swift's going like in the middle of the 5th round. Swift, while we think of him as a super young player, I mean, the man was drafted in 2020. Alex says, would you trade startup 101, the 11th, and 12th for the 201, 313, 402 in a 14-team super flex where we start a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end, 2 flex, and a super flex? Big thing is, in a 14-team super flex league, quarterback is king. Like, quarterback is going to be so hard to come by. If you look at the supply and demand of the position, where obviously there are only so many starters go around. So if you're moving the 101 and Patrick Mahomes, you need a haul in return. The 202, you're not going to have a play at a quarterback. It'll be the 16th pick. The 202 will be equivalent to the 204 here. And I can guarantee you that in a 14-team Superflex league, Kyler won't be available. Kyler, Watson, Fields will already have all been gone. So I would honestly say I'm probably going to stick it with Mahomes there. Give me 1 second to figure out where we're going. We're going to swing for the fences with Anthony Richardson. Don't really know if it's going to be the right pick. If Anthony Richardson is to be a borderline top 10 NFL draft pick and has rushing upside, I'm going to be fine with the selection. I think if we're going to be looking at the other quarterbacks in this range, really the last guy with a lot of upside. So we'll take him here. Don't love it though. But yeah, going back to what we were discussing, specifically because it is that 14-team Superflex league, you have to realize that those 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round picks are going to be a little bit later. If it was like the 106 or something, I would say hell yes. The issue is trading away Patrick Mahomes in a 14-team Superflex league is so much where I probably would rather keep Mahomes. Okay. So yeah, we're swinging for the fences. Anthony Richardson trying to stay young here. I think we may go off the board. Yeah, we're going to go off the board again. I know we're scrolling a ton down, but I mean, this is kind of what you have to do if we don't have access to trades. And at the same time, we're going to be picking on the turn. We're going to go ahead. We're going to take year 2 quarterback Kenny Pickett. We're going to keep it young. So you notice once we take Bijan Robinson, Chris Olave, London through the first 4 rounds, and we realize, okay, this team probably is not competing in 2023. This is going to be a 2024 team and on. We kind of just have to be playing that way. Say we're going to get a high pick in next year's draft. I think we're kind of guaranteeing that when we take Kenny Pickett here. Don't love it, but at the same time, for this team build, Ramondre doesn't make too much sense in my mind. I mean, I think Ramondre Stevenson's almost more of a win now asset. I'd say the same thing Nick Chubb, same thing Henry, same thing Mixon, same thing Pollard, same thing Kittle, same thing Godwin. Damian Pierce, if we're going to be looking at Pierce versus Pickett in terms of long-term job security, I'm a little bit more secure with Pickett in my mind. So yeah, let's go Pickett and see where it leads us. Mystery says, you know you want Treylon Burks. With Burks, I definitely don't want to say it's a bad pick where he goes here. I understand why someone would decide to go in his direction. I mean, if I'm going to be looking at it, though, to be fair, I would make an argument that Kenny Pickett and Burks were going next to each other in rookie drafts this past season. I'm almost more impressed by Kenny Pickett's rookie season than I am Treylon Burks. And if we're going to be looking at the quarterback landscape, I feel like if we pass on a young quarterback with upside here, we're not going to have another option for us in the 7th. Whereas at wide receiver, I already have someone that is queued up for me. Let's just put it that way. I got someone I have my eyes on. Liquid says, can you reduce the draft screen a bit so we can see the outside columns fully? I mean, I'm trying to make the names as big as possible. Let me pull it up on my phone to see how it looks. And real quick, if you have not done so already, please go down there, drop a like on the live stream. It does help us out a ton. Yeah, I mean, you could see who's on the outside column. I don't want to zoom out too much because then it's just difficult to see the board overall. Okay, Kittle, Daniel Jones. I mean, with Daniel Jones, I completely understand the argument on him being a significantly better asset than what you were going to have with Kenny Pickett in Dynasty. And I would 100% go Daniel Jones on a team that is not specifically so young. If we built a more middle of the road team, if we built a team to be a little more competitive right now, I would be more in line to go Daniel Jones when you have that rushing upside. Maybe you can make the argument that age just simply doesn't matter with the quarterback position at all. So honestly, maybe almost regardless of our team and our structure overall, we should be going Daniel Jones there at the beginning of the 6th over Kenny Pickett. But hell, that's why we're doing this. Matt says, Kenny Pickett over Mac Jones. At this point, I honestly would be fine going Kenny Pickett over Mac Jones. The issue with Mac Jones is I feel like we've just seen so little upside from a fantasy football standpoint. And that if you're going to be looking at Jones, you know he's never going to run the ball in a million years. You're never going to get 100 rushing yards. I don't know. Kenny Pickett, I'm more confident with the long-term ability for the Pittsburgh Steelers to identify and develop wide receiver talent than I would be the New England Patriots. Obviously, once New England gets DeAndre Hopkins, I'll be eating my words. Jahan Dotson, 705. So Dotson was actually the guy that we were eyeing on, trying to get back on the way back around that 7-8 turn. I feel like we would have actually had a reasonable shot of getting Jahan Dotson if we were not in a draft with everybody else part of the flock where we've been hyping up Dotson as of late. So honestly, kind of our fault that we're not getting Dotson here, but it is what it is. Joe Mixon going 706. Looks like maybe that was an auto pick, but at the same time, I am not going to complain because I was not interested in Joe Mixon with this construction. I'll try to move the screen a bit for everybody. There we go. Now, Pat Frymuth going 709. At this point, I don't love it. I mean, we literally spent all season saying to sell him high, that the Houston Texans may end up replacing him, that teams don't have allegiance to running backs drafted on day 3. That's why I wasn't a big fan of drafting him in the second round of rookie drafts last year. I mean, Damian Pierce at the 7-8 turn, I feel like this is literally cheaper than where he was going at startup drafts right before the season. So even if we've been screaming to sell him for quite some time, his value has fallen a ton. Like, let me pull up keep trade cut so I can see how far he has fallen. Yeah, so at one point, he was the running back 8 on keep trade cut. The running back 8. And yes, I was screaming to sell him then. But hell, I mean, what is he, like the running back 20-something here? I feel like this is a reasonable spot. And this player doesn't fit our roster, but honestly, from a value standpoint, we are just going to have to take him. We're going to have to grab Calvin Ridley here. I mean, if we're going to be looking at Calvin Ridley, yes, he's older. Now, he was only drafted in 2018, but he stayed forever in high school. I don't know why. So he is 28 years old. We are trying to draft a team around youth, but at the same time, I'm so confident that Ridley's the best value on the board that we go ahead and we take Calvin Ridley, and by the time we're in the middle of the season, I feel like we could trade Ridley. Going back to what we were discussing with those real money underdog drafts, where there's the $1 million prize pool with the big board and rookies. Right now, Ridley's a 3rd round pick. Ridley's going in the 3rd round of redraft leagues. So getting him here in the 8th, I'm going to be fine with. Noah, happy to see you out here, and I am hoping to have the sign up tomorrow. So if I don't want to give away too much. But I'm excited, my man. Okay. Scorb says, Burrow team is beautiful except the disgusting Dalvin pick. I would agree with you. I mean, if you go Dotson there, I'm drooling over the team. I'm drooling over it. Or even Goddard. Okay, so Mayer, Schultz going 806, 807. Scorb says, Hollywood Brown's the play. Hopkins leaving and still kind of young. Yeah, the issue with Hollywood Brown is it's just supposed to be such a bad offense. Like I said, I was just with the underdog crew in Arizona, and I mean, they are all significantly smarter than I am, and they were talking about how the Cardinals may have one of the worst offenses in the NFL this next year. So, I don't know. I mean, they're saying that Kyler's not going to be coming back until late October. No head coach wanted that job. The ability to stay healthy, so it's just a little difficult. Colin says, what makes you put Watson over Kyler? I mean, just the thing, Kyler having a coaching staff change also to go along with this. Kyler being, I mean, that's a significant injury. Kyler Murray did not just tear his ACL. Kyler Murray tore up his knee. Like, if it was a clean ACL tear and that's it, I'd be fine with it. But people are speculating that Kyler Murray may be sitting out like the entire season. Because if he does come back late October, at that point, this team may be so bad they may not be playing for anything. Silver Space says, sorry, Mason, I didn't want to risk him not coming back to me. I already got sniped twice. All good, my man. All good. Deontay. Zach Evans goes in 902. One thing that's really interesting for the Dynasty diehards is if you go over to those redraft leagues on Underdog, right now Zach Evans is going past pick 200. Zach Evans is going like outside the top 60 running backs. Like, it seems like the people in the Dynasty community significantly higher on Evans than everybody else. Pacheco going 905. Rachaad White seems like he's fallen a ton in everybody's mind. Let me pull up Rachaad White's graph on Keep Trade Cut. I feel like at one point he's just so much higher than this. Rachaad White goes 907. So he's the running back 21 according to Keep Trade Cut. His highest was running back 17, so hasn't fallen too much. I still know who I want, and I take him in pretty much every draft. Mac Jones goes 908. I will say, going back to whenever we were justifying Kenny Pickett over Mac Jones, if you would ask me, Mason, would you rather have Mac Jones at the end of the 9th or Kenny Pickett at the beginning of the 6th? I would have definitely preferred Mac Jones. And here, I'm going to go take James Cook. Not thinking about this one too much. I mean, James Cook drafted in the 2nd round this past year, only running back under contract in Buffalo. I don't think he's guaranteed to be the starting running back for the Buffalo Bills next year, but if he were to be guaranteed to be the starting running back for the Buffalo Bills next year, he would be going significantly higher than this. So obviously, the outside chance that they bring in competition is baked into the price, and I'm willing to roll the dice here. Okay. Brandon says, do I take Jalen Hurts over Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? I'm the second pick. No matter what, you're taking Patrick Mahomes. Can I have the live chat spam this answer? We're 2 days removed from the Super Bowl where Jalen Hurts, outside of a rogue fumble, was phenomenal. So I feel like maybe we're all going to be a little bit biased. But can everybody spam the chat? Who would you rather have? Would you rather have Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen in Dynasty? Okay, so Zay Flowers goes 10.02. Great value on Zay Flowers. Okay, so let's find our next spot. 10 seconds left. We don't have much time. We'll panic pick Tyler Algier. I'm not a big Algier guy. We were saying to sell him earlier this season, just like Dameon Pierce, just with the outside chance that, hell, I mean, he's a day 3 running back. And nothing's guaranteed for him. We could easily see him go into the offseason and decide to make an addition elsewhere and to decide to move on from Tyler Algier. But if we're going to be looking at pick, God knows what this is, 120-something. I'll be fine with them. If you wanted to go with one of these veteran options instead at the top of ADP, that'd be fine. The issue is we build our team so young. I think we should probably prefer the younger asset. But it looks like almost everybody taking Josh Allen still over Jalen Hurts. We have Mark saying Jalen Hurts, but that's about it. Justin says, would you do Drake London and the 211 for T. Higgins? I'm going T. Higgins here easily. I mean, the 211 is really not going to be worth anything. Wide receivers are Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Olave, London, Burks, Mechie, Wandale, and going JSN at 2. Yeah, I'm definitely going to still be taking T. Higgins there. Really, you're drafting T. Higgins and just praying that he doesn't end up like getting traded to the Chicago Bears. That would just kill his value. But assuming that doesn't happen, should be in a really good spot. Okay, so Jimmy G, Jordan Love go. Interesting to see Garoppolo go before Rodgers. Proofy says, if you like the art of trading, I think you can get Hurts for more. So you're saying possibly go Jalen Hurts over Allen to flip Hurts? It's a dangerous game, my friend. That is a dangerous, dangerous game. Luke says this is the best time to be trading for 2024 picks, right? I'd say almost all, like at all times, it's a good idea to be trading for future picks. I'd say this is the best time to be trading for them. I mean, we laid it out in a video about a month ago. I'm sure you saw it, Luke, essentially saying that, hell, they are completely insulated. There's nothing that can happen for those picks to lose value. And right now, they seem like they are so far away 5 months from now where, hell, you don't need fantasy points over this 5-month period. People are going to think that they are significantly sooner once you already have that 2023 rookie draft and they're the earliest picks that you can trade for. Okay. Jeremy says, what are your thoughts on Jordan Love? To be honest, I have no idea. I mean, I don't know what Jordan Love is going to be. I do know he has some rushing upside, not a ton. He's looked decent at some points, looked pretty good this last season whenever he got in for an extremely limited sample. But it's so hard to know what you have with Jordan Love. Tank Bigsby going 11.07. Okay. I like the Stafford pick. Like, I honestly would rather have Stafford over Jordan Love. Hendon Hooker. What are we doing, Mason? Come on. Get it together. I'm going to go Miles Sanders, unrestricted free agent. No idea where he's going to land. No idea what's going to happen. We're getting him smack dab between Craig Dulcich and Dalton Kincaid. So at this point, I feel like there's not too much risk with his price. Aaron Jones goes directly after. Obviously, when we're taking Miles Sanders here, he doesn't really fit the team build, but it's more so about possibly flipping him later on. And then almost under that same thought process, we're going to go Mike Williams. We made a video talking about why you could potentially buy Mike Williams on the low a few weeks back, looking at the contract situation for Keenan Allen, combined with the fact that, hell, while we didn't draft him anywhere this past year, really the primary reason he disappointed was more so based around injury than anything else. And yeah, people dramatically overrated him this past season. But here, it's going to be a fine price. JCM says, I think Stafford's way undervalued right now. I believe he bounces back and is a low-end QB1, high-end quarterback 2 for the price of a QB3. I will agree with you. I think Matthew Stafford is one of the most undervalued assets in Dynasty. Like, if you're going to be looking at Geno Smith, Derek Carr, Noah taking them at the 8-9 turn, I would just rather have Matthew Stafford at like the 10-11 turn. I would rather have Matthew Stafford probably straight up over Geno Smith. I know nobody else would agree with me on that one, but personally I would. Okay. Well, let me show this entire board for everybody just now coming in. And of course, if you are just now coming in here, please go down there, drop a like on this live stream. It does help us out a ton. If you have not done so already, subscribe to the channel. If you want to get in the next draft with us, use promo code FLOCK. Link in the live chat, link in the description, link in the comment section. Underdog Fantasy. They'll match your first deposit dollar for dollar up to 100, and you'll get our 2023 Dynasty rankings. But I think that's it. I appreciate y'all. Really hope you have a great day. Really hope that my lips are not chapped tomorrow because Arizona dried them out to an extreme measure. And yeah, thank you so much. Have a great night, everyone. I truly, truly do appreciate all of you.